Hello, hello, everyone. How is everyone on this Monday evening? I hope everyone is well. Welcome to everyone that is in the chat and then everyone that will watch the replay later on. We're continuing with our 12 tags of Christmas. I don't know why that's a tongue twister for me, but it is. So the other day, last week, we started just a fun little series on things that you can use, both new and old product, to create some holiday tags. Some are going to be super easy, and then some are going to be more involved where you can mix and match your die sets and things like that. And that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to mix up some older die sets, some that have been previously released, some that a lot of you probably have in your craft room. And so I hope you'll join me. I know that you guys are going to have some great ideas and list those there in the comments. You always have amazing ideas and think of things that I would never think of. So make sure you put those in there. And so let's go down. Hello, everyone. Hello, Gretchen, Madeline. All right, you guys, I'm going to go down here to my desk. Okay, so last Thursday, these are the tags that I created. My inspiration for both of these were our embossing folders and how can we use embossing folders on holiday tags. And then we talked a little bit about how you can incorporate this idea and change it up and make like a coordinating card or something like that with those. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be for a tag, or you can add a tag to a gift and then have a matching card. So lots of ideas that we can use here and think about and add, your little sentiments, whatever ribbon you may have in your crafty stash at home. I know all of you have ribbon just like I do. Okay, tonight we are playing with die cuts. And so I am taking several different die sets and I just rummaged through my die sets to see what we could make, what we could pair together. And I know you guys do the same thing at home. So I'm going to be using this large wood slice here. That's going to be like the big background or the big piece of our big piece for our tag, the tag portion. I'm going to use a couple pieces of the Lovely Layers winter greenery, some of the smaller greenery pieces. I'm going to use one of the trees from the Lovely Layers tree. This little evergreen here makes the perfect little Christmas tree. And so we're going to use that. And then I'm pulling out a real oldie here. This is one of our bouquet builders, and it is the holiday or Christmas bouquet builder that has the poinsettia. So I'm going to create a small poinsettia. So the idea behind this was actually inspired by one of our design team members, Keiko. And sometimes Keiko's over in the chat, so maybe she'll be here. But she built some tags using those wood slices that were really pretty. And then she added trees and poinsettias and all different things. So mine are not going to turn out exactly like hers, but I thought we could take her inspiration and then create something totally new. So I'm going to do two different tags. One is going to have maybe a more like woodland kind of masculine feel. So it would be great for gift tags and things that go on maybe your husband's gifts or dad or uncle or whoever. And then one I'm going to make a lot more feminine with the poinsettias and things like that. So I'm going to start out with just some craft cardstock, and I have cut that largest layering wood slice, and I'm first going to ink blend it. Now you could, just cut out a couple of different colors of cardstock, do whatever you like to do. I like to ink blend to, get my die cuts to look the way that I want them to look. So I'm going to start out with some gathered twigs, and I'm mainly going to focus on this bottom layer to make it a little bit deeper and darker than the top portion. Hello, Carol. Hey, Kelley Taylor. Let's see here. I'm seeing lots of my friends. See, Linda, our Carol is there, and Kelly's there. They're both on our design team. So cool. I know you guys have seen lots of Kelly's stamp set designs and all of our holiday cards and beautiful sentiments in those sets. And so Kelley and Carol are both winners over there. let's see here. I'm going to keep ink blend in here. This is just gathered twigs. And I'm just going to go and focus right around the edge. There's no need to spend a whole lot of time in the center unless you want to keep that flat for, you know, little things that you want to add on there. If you want to add the layer that has the little rings and stuff for your wood slice, there's really not a need to spend a whole lot of time you know, getting the perfect ink blend in the center of my little wood slice here. And so I'm just going to keep working that around there. And it doesn't need to be anything pretty or perfect or anything like that, because as I mentioned before, we're going to layer these together. Okay, I'm going to move those out of the way. And instead of spending a whole bunch of time on this craft cardstock, you can see when we kind of layer those together, that would be pretty, but that's kind of a stark difference between the two. So instead of, you know, spending a whole lot of time, I'm just going to kind of rough that up a little bit and with my ink, just to shade it just a little bit. That way it's not just a stark difference between the background and then the top layer. Okay, so I've got those pretty much the way that I want them. Let me see if I can pick them up here off of my little thing, and then I'm going to set that aside. Now let me clean off my little mat, and then we're going to work on, let's do what we're going to call the little Christmas tree. And this is out of the Lovely Layers trees. There's 3 different trees in that die set, and this one makes, you know, the perfect little kind of woodland tree. And I am going to use for this one, let's use ice spruce. So it's almost going to make it that blue green kind of color. And so let me get that one off here. And I needed to start a new ice spruce brush. So I'm going to get this really juicy. Now, because you're going to be able to see the underlayer through the top and kind of around the edges just a little bit, I am going to go a lot more heavy-handed on this bottom layer than I will on the top. And so I'm going to leave that one just as is. Right now, it looks really deep charcoal. As that ink kind of seeps into the paper and has time to dry back just a little bit, it's going to lighten up. Now for the top layer, because I want to use the same color, but not, I want them to look different. I'm not going to dip back into my ink pad. I'm simply going to use just what is left in the bristles of my brush. And I'm always surprised at when I use my dirty brush at how much ink I can get off of the top of that. Now, do you see how we're getting that kind of lighter green, icy green? And if I want it a little bit darker, let's pick up just a little bit off of our mat here and kind of really work that in. Okay, so I think I'm going to be happy with that. And I haven't even punched out my little centers yet, but let me see if they're going to cooperate here, and I can just kind of pop those out. And then I always, with any kind of layering die cuts, I like to hold it up kind of just like so, to make sure that I'm happy with the way that everything is looking, especially before I glue it down. That way, you know, if I want to go in here and add a little bit of ink, maybe towards the bottom, make the bottom limbs a little bit deeper and darker, I can do that before it's all glued down. And now I've got a little more variation here, going from a little bit deeper and darker up to lighter at the top. Okay, so that's our little Lovely Layers tree. So I'm going to set him aside right there. And then let's put all my little die cut pieces. Let's kind of toss them off, and we'll let the vacuum cleaner get those. I'm going to do a cleanup, and then we're going to keep on working here. Hello, Carol. I see lots of friends here. Okay. All right, next, let's do some other greenery pieces. Okay, so these pieces are not going to go on the same tag as our little tree. So if I wanted to pull in the same color, I could do that. This is a little piece that would almost be like lamb's ear or something like that. And then we've got a little pine sprig that I'll do a different color. So I'm actually going to use the same iced spruce. I'm going to start with my dirty brush, but I'm betting because this is a brand new and nice. See how nice and clean that is? You guys will never see my brushes like that clean, hardly ever, because I love my dirty brushes. And so I'm going to go in really deep and dark here and then barely rub the bristles over those little leaves and kind of spread that color up to where it's much, much lighter towards the tip of each of the leaves. And then we'll kind of have a fun little fading little variation there. Let's smooth that out just a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to set this one aside right there, and then let's work on our little pine sprig. And this is where we can really change it up and maybe pull in a different color. Okay, I've got bundled sage, and then I've got rustic wilderness. I think I'm going to start with bundled sage, and we may bring in, yeah, I'm going to start with bundled sage. And I'm going to go over the whole thing, kind of fade it out just like I did the other one, where it's much deeper here. And then we'll get a little bit darker. And then maybe let's experiment and let's bring in some rustic wilderness here. Okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to start out with my dirty brush. This is the way that I like my brushes. Do you see how filthy that is? But I like it. So I'm just going to spread that up. Maybe make right down that stem. And I'm holding the brush. You can kind of see how I'm holding the brush at an angle. So the majority of that rustic wilderness, I'm aiming it right here down that little pine sprig. Okay, now let's kind of set these together. And let's kind of see how we're looking like here. And I think that's going to be pretty. We're going to mix in the red of the poinsettia. And so I think that this is going to be pretty once we get everything kind of all put together. So I'm going to put that in my little dish of happy die cuts over there. And we'll keep just working right along here. You have such a light hand. I do. Sometimes. I've had to practice because it hasn't always been that way. Okay, good old Christmassy lumberjack plaid for our poinsettias. And I'm going to do the same thing here as what I did on our little lovely layers tree. So I'm going to use this one as the bottom layer or the bottom petals, and I'm going to use this one as the top. So I'm going to do this one much, much darker and much more heavy-handed, so it gets really dark and rich in color. And then this one, I'll probably use whatever is left on the brush. So I'm going to start right in that center and give that a good heavy dose of the Lumberjack Plaid, and then a lighter dose on the top. And it's almost going to turn, do you see where that's almost like a pinky red? It's going to be really pretty when you layer those two together. Look how pretty that is. And we're getting two different ink colors, but with the same ink pad. So I like to do this a lot. And so this is a fun little trick that you can try, especially if you don't have all the oxide inks or, or whatever. So I'm going to lay these aside, and I can set this little guy aside, and then let's start building our tags with all of our little die cuts that we have here. So I'm just going to take my liquid adhesive, and let me get let's see here. I'm going to look up in the comments as I'm getting my glue ready here. Love all the layers, loving the colors. Okay, so tell me in the comments. I know a lot of you have the wood slices and the winter greenery and things, because a lot of people had these and bought these with the fishing stuff or the birds. So these would be really pretty with the winter birds. with the mushrooms that came out not very long ago. See, I'm going to add a good little dose of liquid adhesive right there. Put that down, and I can kind of slide it into place. But are you guys already coming up with some ideas on how maybe you can use some of your die sets that don't necessarily look like a tag, but we can use it as that? Okay, now we're about to get fun here. Okay, this one, I think I want to go ahead and build this one out. The one with the tree, I'm going to wait because we're going to add a little bit of snow texture paste to it. But this one, I want to do the snow after I get it all together. And the tree I want to do first. So I'm going to get this one all together. I'm just going to offset the little petals on the poinsettia. If you wanted to go back in and get really fancy and, you know, use your colored pencils in the veins, or so, you could do that. I'm going to keep this pretty simple. You can always, you know, pinch your little or curl your little petals up. Get a little bit of curl going for a little fun added dimension. And then for this tag, I'm going to flip it on its side. So just like so. And we're going to make kind of a little spray of greenery down there. Now, before I get too far, I'm going to reach over and I'm going to grab my good old fashioned crocodile. And so I'm going to punch my little tag hole right in the top here. Just like that. And then while I'm punching, I might as well do this little guy. And I'm going to punch him. This is going to be the top right up here. Just like that. All right, let's set that aside. And now I'm going to use this one on its side so I can kind of start figuring out, you know, like how I want to lay all my little greenery pieces and so forth. And I think something like that is going to be really cute. So it's going to be a little bit more feminine, a little bit rustic with the little wood slice and the greenery, but I think that's going to be pretty. Two different kind of colors of like the blue green. Let me get my little towel that I have here. And so let's put this one, I'm going to lay this one kind of right across the bottom. And I'm going to leave my finger there. My mom loves poinsettias. She will have 15 or 20 inside of her house. I can't ever keep them alive. Poinsettias. I have the worst luck with them. Okay, for this little pine piece, I'm going to have almost kind of curl up that side to make kind of a fun little greenery swag here. And then I'm going to add my little poinsettia. And I can add it right down there. And then hold it. Just like that. And then to finish off that poinsettia, I need to grab some of our new pearls or gems, I think. And let's see here. I think I'm going to grab, let's see here, maybe the metallic mix to go on this one. We can pull in a metallic. So somebody else kills Patricia kills her poinsettias too. I always do. Okay, now these are fun. So we've got, see the shiny, let me see if I can get it. There's a shiny gold and there's a matte gold. There's a kind of a copper. There's a shiny silver and then more of a matte silver. I am really liking these. Let's see, I may even add the shiny gold, like a few of them in the center, just to bring in kind of a fun little bit of sparkle. And I'm going to do one. Let me make sure I get the right sizes here. 2. And then a little teeny tiny one. 3. And we'll just put those in as the center of our little poinsettia. So that's cute. Now I'm going to do the sentiments, or, you know, like a little Merry Christmas or something. We're going to do that here in a minute. So I'm going to slide that one aside, and then let's work on our snow. So let me set this aside, and let's put together our little tree. So I don't know if this is like a spruce, a blue spruce. We'll call it a blue spruce, or a something. I don't know. We don't have these types of trees in the South. We did when I lived in the Pacific Northwest, but not down here. And so I'm just going to layer this over and kind of drop it. And then once I get it, I can kind of pick it up and then make sure all those little limbs and everything are kind of shimmied in to place. Just like that. Okay, now I mentioned I wanted to add snow, and I'm going to add this paper texture paste. So this is a lot like a Snow Tex, or like a distress paste. And I learned about this stuff from Dawn Holzlegel, and I'm going to use my little dye pick because it's easy to clean off. And so I'm just going to I'm going to let you guys watch this. It's almost like working with like cake icing. Do you see the texture of it? Or like whipped cream or something. But I'm going to use my little dye spatula, and I'm simply going to start messily patting this onto the little limbs. Now, I have to tell you, when you watch Dawn do this, she's a lot neater than I am, because I just kind of patted on all the leaves or all the little limbs. Okay, I'm going to take it. I'm going to hold the sides now and pick up a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. And let's get some more parts in here. And kind of spread it out. Okay, so this is what we're looking like. Look how pretty that is with just the snow. I thought about adding glitter to this, but I think it's beautiful just like that. So I'm actually going to set this aside, and I'm going to let that kind of dry for a couple minutes. And then this is what I like about using like your dye pick or something like that, is I can simply just take it and wipe that down. But let's go ahead and let's do... I may want to do this last. I'm going to do that last. All right, pause. All right, so I'm going to set that aside. I am going to go ahead and use my tweezers. Let's see here if I can find my tweezers. I'm going to pick up this little guy like this, and I'm going to flip him and go ahead and work with him, even though he's still damp. But if I had a lot of time, I would probably set him aside. Okay, now I'm going to nestle this little tree right down here. Okay, so we'll do that. And I'm going to hold that glue into place. Hey, Jen Timko, how are you? Gail, hello. What are you using? Very pretty. Okay, that is, let me show you this stuff. And it's kind of hard to find. Even Honeybee, we're sold out of a bunch of our snowy textury stuff right now. This is Art Extra, I don't know how to say that, Vagance maybe. And it says Finnabar paper texture paste. Now I will tell you, I had to order this on Amazon because most people, even Honeybee, is sold out of like our Snow Tex and all, because everybody's doing their holiday projects. But Dawn Holzlegel uses this, and so I thought, oh, I'll try it, and it's pretty good. Okay, so we've got our little tree on there, and you can see how we're getting two different looks. But honestly, if these were going in a grouping of packages or something like that, they look really pretty together because we've kind of used the same color scheme. All right, so let's do that. Now, let's do a sentiment before I get carried away chit-chatting. So let's put that there. Let's slide that over. Let's make room on the desk. And for my sentiment or whatever we want to put on our tag, I'm going to use one of the sentiments from the Heart Be Light sentiment set. So it's just a good old sentiment set that you could add to any card. I think that, you know, we should be able to use our stamps and dies and for cards or tags or whatever kind of project we want to make. And then I have some scraps of craft paper. And because that the wood slices are craft, we're just going to kind of make everything blend in. All right, so we have some good old Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I love this. May peace, love, and prosperity follow you always. I like that. That would be cute on a tag. But we could also kind of hold this up and then think about, like, do we want something that's little? Silent Night, Holy Night. That would be pretty. With love on Christmas. That's perfect for a tag. This is what I like to do. Feliz Navidad, peace on earth. Okay, so I think for the tree, let's do Silent Night, Holy Night for the tree, because I think that would be really pretty. So I'm just going to pop that down there. And then for the poinsettias, let's do this, may peace, love, and prosperity follow you always. I think that's a pretty little sentiment. And I'm just going to pop these down in here and pick them up. And then let's just use we'll just use black ink. So let me move my tree again. And we'll close the door. And then I'm just barely going to give this a rub down so I don't get it too squishy. Let's see. That's looking pretty good. So I'm going to pick those up. And then because I used that VersaFine, I am going to take my heat tool to it just to dry it a little bit. Let's see here. You can see that's a scrap piece of paper. I had some color put on the back of there. I don't know what color that is, but okay, now I can take the little coordinating dies. Let me pull these out. And then I can match these up. So I always like to try to match like the little shapes like this. I don't think it's that one. Maybe this one. And that one's not it. Let's see. That one's not it. This is the puzzle now. Let's see if this is it. That one's it. Okay, and then this one is a little more chunky. So that one is going to be that one right there. Okay, let's see here. What is Carol saying here? Please stop making me buy. I'm so sorry, Miss Carol. Let's see here. Okay, so let me make sure I line this up. And I apologize if my crazy head gets in the way here. But I want to put that down. Boop. And then line this one up. Just like that. And then I'm going to run both of these through my big die machine just to save time. Let's see here. All right, let's see. That's what I got. Two of my favorite crafters on right now. So I'm watching one on my laptop and one on the iPad. Oh my goodness, Irma, that is so funny. Let's see, that second one is at. No telling what Kelley's talking about here. Okay, let's pull this one out. Okay, so we've got 1, 2. Set that aside so I don't lose my little dies. And then let's pull these out. Okay, and then we want Silent Night is going to be tucked right in there. Super sweet and simple. And then we can add our bigger sentiment right on the back of there. And I'm going to kind of nestle it. Yeah, I'm going to kind of nestle it right in here. And I'm going to let it go. And then I like to kind of hold it up. And I mean, it's going to be a little tag, so it's going to be a little wonky, but come on. There we go. And then I think that's going to be cute, just like that. And then let's do Silent Night here. Just some little dots. And then I'm going to nestle it right in there in those little tree limbs. Just like that. That's looking pretty good. Okay, now before I get too far on that one, I'm going to go ahead and do twine. So I mentioned earlier that Keiko was the inspiration. Some of her tags were the inspiration for these using the wood slices. So I'm going to use some twine, and I'm just going to run my twine through the little holes. And then she had some really cute ideas about, she had little tiny, I can't get that to go through there. She had little tiny jingle bells on hers and all kinds of stuff. I don't have any tiny jingle bells, but I do have a little bit of ribbon that she like tied at the top. So I'm going to take a little bit of ribbon. And let's see here if I can get it here. And then she just tied it right at the top. And I would probably use something that maybe is a little bit smaller, but let's see if we can make this work. So let's see here. If I can tie that. Nope, I'm not going to do it like that. Probably use twine even. Okay, let me see here. Let's do it like this and then glue it down. Let's see. Wood beads would be so cute. Oh, on the top of there, even like little red for holiday or green or white. I'm going to try to make this work here. Let's see if I can do it. And last week we were talking about the pretty chevron ribbon. And some sweet person in the comments linked that chevron ribbon that I'm out of. And boy, don't you know that I went and purchased the chevron ribbon because I haven't been able to find any. Okay, let me get this here. And of course, when it's one-sided, you got to fuss with it a little bit. Okay, so let's do that, and let's do that. And I'm going to put this right up here. And I'm going to hold that on there with my tweezers. Now, I think when Keiko did this, she had little jingle bells on hers kind of down in here, and then she tied her ribbon around the twine and made it super cute. But I couldn't get that to work for me around the twine. So we're improvising. Okay, and so I'm going to push this through. And then do we think that the poinsettia, does the poinsettia need snow? Do we do snow or do we just do a snowy tree? So you guys tell me what you guys think. And so you could totally do without the ribbon too. Okay, hold on. We're going to chat for a second. Let's see what oh, there's Keiko. Keiko, we're using your tags that you did with the wood slices as inspiration this evening. So we're mixing it up a little bit, but that's what we're snow, lovely tags. Let's see here. Oh, yes. Keiko's tags are inspiration. Absolutely. Glittery stickles. Okay, I've got that. We've got you covered on the glittery stickles. We can do that. Okay, there's crystal and there's stardust. I think for this, and I've had people ask me before, like, what's the difference? Because these, when you look at them online, they look an awful lot the same. But if you'll notice, they're both iridescent, but one, the crystal reads very green, greenish blue. Do you see that? And this one, the stardust, has more of the pink and purple. So if you go to order stickles, those are the difference between the two. And so I think because we've got like some pinks and things going on here, I may use the stardust. And you know, everybody has their favorites. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let me move my tree. And I'm just going to do like my messy stickles where I just kind of put some down and then I'm just going to drag it. And it just gives everything just kind of a little messy shimmer. You know, you don't have to drop it into little beads or little like little pearls or dots or anything like that. You can just kind of, you know, just add a little bit of shimmer just here and there. So we'll just add. And I almost just kind of paint it on with the tip of the bottle like that. Okay, I think the stickles was a good call and something totally different. Okay, so let's hold this up. So here is our poinsettia, glimmery, shimmery. I love those shiny, bright pearls in the center. And then still on the back, because of the way that these dies are made, the center, if you remember, doesn't press the wood grain or the rings. So you can still write, you know, a little message or to, from, or whatever on the back because it's nice and flat. Okay, now this should be set up. And now I've got a cute little Christmas tree, Silent Night, Holy Night, adorable. I still have space on the back that I can write to, from, or from the Kahoot family, or whatever. So we've got, let's do a little roundup. Let me go down here of the tags that we have done so far. So we've got wood slices with trees and poinsettias. And then last week we did embossing folders. So we did snowy tags. If you decorate your home in snowflakes and blues and silvers and things like that. We have the With Love from Christmas. That's from Kelley's stamp set. Okay. And then we have the more piney, the snowy pines embossing folder with some pattern paper. And that same With Love on Christmas sentiment from Kelley's beautiful stamp set. All right. So we're going in all kinds of different directions here. We have 4 tags done so far. And let me get over here where I can chat with you all. Okay, I'm going to look here. Now, these are, thank you, Keiko. Amazing tags. Thank you. Okay, now, are you guys getting some ideas for tags? Stardust adds no color. Stardust adds no color. Thank you, Kelley Taylor. See? This is why we have our friends in here. It's tag time. That's right. One of them reads very green, and the other one just has like a little iridescence to it. Okay, so if you guys think of ideas, way too many ideas now, Kelley. I need to stop somewhere. Miss Lori, you're so funny. You can make a different tag for every person on your list. Let's see. So many ideas. They don't take too long to make. They don't, especially when you can sit and, you know, spend an afternoon and kind of mass produce for a little bit, you know, die cutting and things. And you could really cut the trees and the poinsettias and everything out of scrap paper, and you'd have some really beautiful tags. Stardust stickles are the best stickles. See, I knew that Kelley was going to have an opinion. Everybody has their favorite. Okay, so I hope you guys are coming away this evening and for the last couple of nights with some awesome ideas. If you have ideas, I would love to hear them. Make sure you join us over, and I've been telling everybody about this, over on our Facebook group. We have a challenge group. It's called Honeybee Stamps Buzzworthy Challenges on Facebook. And so if you guys want to share your tag ideas, or you just want to come over and chit chat and say, hey, I've got this idea for tags, I would love to see that. Let's see, the doves. Yes, the doves would be pretty on here. We'd love to see all of that. And our challenge this month is all about texture. So anything that you want to create that has texture. So for example, like our embossing folders here add texture to your paper. So that would be one. You know, glitter paper, that's texture. Our die cuts here with all of our layers and embossing and all that, that is all texture. So any of this, I would love, love, love to see what you guys create. And then you never know, you could be our challenge group winner this month. So, okay. All right, it is time for our giveaway tonight. Is Miss Lisa here to do our giveaway winner? Kelley, these are the best for fur babies. I don't have grandkids. There you go. Lisa came through. Kimberly Myers, you are the winner. Congratulations, Kimberly. If you will email me at Kelley, Kelley at honeybeestamps.com, I am going to send you a prize. Congratulations, Kimberly. All right, you guys, come back on Wednesday night. We're going to do some other type of tag. I do not know. You tell me in the comments now, do you want to see simple or crazy town? Complex? Simple or difficult? We may do some simple ones, and we can give each other ideas. Everybody likes all of them. Complex. You guys are right up my alley. You know I like all the die cuts and things. All right, friends, I'll see you back here on Wednesday night, and I hope to see you then. Bye-bye.